Okay, today I'm going to tackle Tamiya's Heinkel HE162 Salamander. This was the Volksjäger, or the People's Fighter, a last attempt ditch to mass produce a fast interceptor from all the bombers that were bombing Germany in the end of the war. Very interesting aircraft and a very interesting design, and of course let's build this in flight as the box art says. Lovely box art, but let's go have a look inside the box. So you get that nice dark grey Tamiya plastic. There's really only 3 or 4 sprues. There's a copy sprue of the outside engine. Okay, you get 2 of them because you can. Let me just zoom in, see if you can see the nice detail. I'll just zoom in. There we go. Lovely detail, as typical Tamiya. You can actually pose the nacelle open or shut. You can swap it. They actually give you little, what are they called? Polycaps. So you can do that. So lovely detail even on those wheels there. This is really interesting. This is the I've got to point with my other finger. This is the main gear housing, and they actually tell you to cut that open. But if you want to do it wheels up, all you have to do is just clip off those little knobs and you're done. And they give you 2 for some reason. So I don't know. Right, so that's the first sprue. The next one is for the engine and some of the cockpit details. Let me just swing that around and look at the pilot. And the pilot's wearing, get some light on there. The pilot's wearing goggles and an oxygen mask, which is interesting. Some nice details. Can we get some more light on there, please, Mr. Lightman? There we are. And there's the BMW 003. I think that's the right designation. Beautiful detail on that. You can even do some more. And yeah, like I said, they give you a cart and some wheels, so you can actually have that posed separately if you'd like, or you can pop it inside the aircraft, or you can leave it blank. So there's lots of options there. And have a quick look at the canopy. Really, the clear parts, I should say. The canopy is really easy to make, and thankfully what they do at the front, if you can just see that, there's a lip there. So what happens is the canopy actually slots into the fuselage. Which is great for construction, but you're going to have to mask it twice because the outside of the canopy is done in black. That's okay, easy job with some stretchy curved tape. Not many clear parts there, gun sight, landing something or other there. And then the final sprue is the main parts. Now believe it or not, that's the wings. Look at that. Let's just focus here first. Let's bring it down here. I'll focus in, hey? Let's go down a bit and focus in. You got it, camera? Okay, there you go. Right, so they're the wings. They're tiny, look, not even a full hand span. And the fuselage halves and the tail planes are here. Okay, very, very simple stuff, but you know, beautiful, crisp Tamiya plastic, really nice. This should fall together. There shouldn't be any troubles at all. First of all, they give you a full-scale painting guide. So this is for the first option A. There's 4 options in the kit. This one is probably the easiest one to do, number 20, white 23, which is lovely. So that's really nice. And on the other side you get the side profiles. There it is there. So I'll probably do that one because I just want to do this completely out of the box. The only thing I'm going to do is obviously do wheels up. Here's the decals. Tamiya decals are notoriously thick. These ones don't look too bad, but I'll give it a go. There's not many. I might mask the Balkenkraus, or whatever they're called, and the Botan markings as well. You get some polycaps. Whoosh. You get a. Oop, it is in English. There we are. You get a lovely. I wish every kit should do this. They really should. They should put in what makes you exciting to build the actual aircraft. Is, you know, put in some details and some bloody. You know, oh, this is the engine, this is how, it's got an ejection seat, whoa, you know, blah, 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 blah. Love having that in the kit. Everybody do that, please, thank you. Alright, and then everybody should do what Tamiya does with the instructions. I'm a massive Tamiya fanboy. Here they are. Okay. I wish all kits had instructions done this way because they're just nice and clear, very simple to follow. Unfortunately, the only thing I don't like is that you have to spread it out leaf by leaf, but whatever. So Tamiya instructions, beautiful, numbered well, really easy to follow. I won't go to them too much, but there's some interesting sub-assemblies in here, of course. The ejection seat fits to the back bulkhead, and the instrument panel fits to the pegs, to the, rudder pedals, and the nose gear bay has the bloody flight stick on top of it. So it's some really interesting. I don't worry about the wheels because we're not doing that, but anyway, have a look. It's quite intricate for those of you who want to do wheels down. There's quite a lot of nice parts here, and they're all going to fit because it's Tamiya. So the actual assembly is a bit convoluted as well. You've got to shove the landing gear bay in the middle, put this T-junction which holds the engine on top through the wing spars. They give you a weight. There's a lead weight which I've taken out, I don't need it, but they give you a nice lead ball that you just shove in there, so it's not a tail sitter. Here's where they tell you to cut it in pieces, which is a bit naff, but great for me, I don't mind. I'm just going to shove the whole thing in. Wings together, wings on plane, landing gear on or up. Build the engine blank, so there's no engine in the middle, you just see the inlet and outlet. Let's just zoom in a little bit more here, sorry about that, that's better. And then the engine itself, which you can deploy on the engine dolly, or let's turn the page. So you have the engine nacelle, stop moving camera, there you go, engine nacelle on top. You can have a canopy open or closed. Stop doing that, camera. And then the covers open with the engine displayed. And Tamiya gives you all their paints. They're paints, but you can easily match them. If you just do a little bit of research, you'll know what RLM colour it is. Then you can use MRP or whatever preferred paint you want to do. So they give you a few more options. So that could be, what else do we get? C, which looks like almost an all over RLM 23, light blue, and just a couple of greens on top, and then a final one which is very similar, again just a different unit. There we are. So let's get cracking onto the build. Here it is all dry fitted together. Oop, there goes the tail. Typical Tamiya fit, look at that. That's just pressed together. Okay. So those seam lines are going to be super easy to clean up. Haven't done much of the landing gear in there. The wings are just dry fitted on. Okay, no gaps. It's going to come together really easily. The nacelle, I'll go over that quickly. There's a bit of a gap there. That's because I didn't follow the instructions, and I put, come on you. See how there's two pins here that go into these two holes with a polycap. Now they tell you only put it in one. I put it in both, so it's a bit of a tight fit. They do that so you can actually swap it out for because they give you two complete parts for a nacelle that's completely open. Now it will fit. Let me get the camera to focus, and the cockatoos to shut up. Focus. Focus. There we go. So there's a bit of a gap. If you just press down, boom, disappeared. So it's a piano hinge there. On the other side, so it's a little press. So with a little press and a clamp of glue, it'll be fine. There's a bit of a dodgy panel line there that you've got to hide, but it's not too hard to do. These are proper panel lines, so don't get rid of them. So yeah, that's not a panel line, it's a seam. Got to get rid of that seam. But apart from that, man, it goes together so well. Let me just take it apart, if I can, on camera. Yep. So it's got this wonderful wing spar there. Okay, I'll take the fuselage apart. Oh, before I do that, okay, wheel bay. Here's that wonderful part they give you, and that goes on like that. Click. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Take it apart, and I'll just show you some of the foibles with inside. Don't have my pointing stick. Here we go. Alright. The cockpit's got barely any parts, and it's pretty easy to put together. The only issue is, I'll just come a bit closer, just these cannon ports, you can get them upside down to just make sure that goes the right way. The lugs there are more of a sort of a push down, not a push put in. See, there's a little lug there. Just make sure you get it underneath. That's all. Same with the other side. Let's get it up. Okay, same with the other side there. There's a bit of a dodgy throttle there. I mean, you can really detail this up if you want to, but I want to do this out of the box. So speaking about the cockpit parts, here we go. Pretty simple. Ejection seat, bulkhead, don't fill those in. They need to be coloured in, they're special parts. This is the nose wheel bay and the middle console. The control stick goes there, I haven't put it in. There's a little window here that you have to put in, you have to mask that up before you paint. Pretty easy. The Tamiya pilot. Come on, camera, focus up. He does want to focus, okay. And the instrument panel, pretty simple. Again, just need to mask up the gun sight and paint it all. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to prime them up and paint them and get going. So I've done the chipping on the German grey onto the STYNLREZ silver paint, and you can see that I've gone a bit overboard as usual. So we've got some major chips there and on the main column there. These can be dialed back a bit with a wash, and of course the seat's going to be covered with a pilot, so it's not much of an issue. With the fuselage halves, okay, most of the surfaces have been chipped back. Again, I'm going to increase the contrast there on the ribs with some painting, and we'll get stuck into those panels, and the throttle as well on the side. It's got a fair bit of chipping. Now you're not going to see a lot of that when it's closed up, but so that's why sometimes it's good to exaggerate the effect. Let me just get this closed up, and we'll just zoom in. So you get to see a little bit as you look in. Of course, the canopy is going to be closed, so it's not going to be that much of an issue. So I've painted the cockpit. You can see the chipping there has been done, and then on the ribs themselves, I've just added a few highlights with some life colour. I've touched up the cannons there with a little bit of aluminium oil, and the throttle and a few other parts. Got some licks of paint. Do the same with the other side. There's not much detail in the Tamiya kit. Those blue parts are part of the oxygen hose. You should really add a hose and a few outlets and a few things. And the buttons, there's not much detail there, but you know, just gave it a little bit because you're not going to see much when it's closed up. For the seat, okay, see the decal's still a bit shiny, so I'll have to hit this with a matte coat just to seal it in. Painted the seat. There we go, camera. Painted the seat burnt umber. The seat's fairly chipped, but the pilot will cover most of that chipping. The Tamiya decals on the, let's let the camera sort it out first. The Tamiya decals did a pretty good job. They're not sealed in yet, I just hit that with a bit of microsol, and I added a few little details with the buttons. Let's see if I can zoom in even further. Whoop. Come on camera, you can do it. No, it doesn't want to do it. There we are. So it's not bad. So I'll give that a bit of a matte coat to seal it in, and then I'll add a little bit of gloss coat to each one of those dials. But again, you don't see much detail. And then the final part is just the control stick. Can't even see that. Whatever. I just need to paint the pilot next, and off we go.